Hello and welcome to another REFSIX Weekly. I hope you are well. I hope your season's well. I'm your host, Hassan, with my co-hosts. I've got John and Rimon. How are you guys doing?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, very good, mate.
Good, good. Did you have games this weekend?
I had one last night.
How did that go?
Yeah, it went really well, I think. The assessor said I did well, so my coach was there as well, so life's good.
Just waiting for the assessment. That's good. And Rimon, did you have a game this weekend?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you
I have
took it
my
off,
next
huh?
game in 2 weeks. Yeah,
Awesome,
taking a
awesome.
break.
Brilliant. So, as always, we're going to go through some news, and there's one bit of news this week, and it's that the Australian Jared Gillett, who is now a Premier League referee, who was a FIFA referee in Australia, will be taking his first game in the Premier League, and it's between Watford and Newcastle. So, definitely going to be watching. I'm a Newcastle fan, so I'm definitely going to be watching that game anyway. But definitely going to be paying close attention to his performance and see how he gets on. So I believe it's been quoted as the first overseas official to ever take a Premier League game. I think that's slightly false because Dermot Gallagher was Irish, so he is technically the first overseas referee, and so Jared slightly different. But no, good to see him in the Premier League. So, guys, we're going to talk about some of the key incidents from this weekend in terms of the Premier League. We've also got one from the English Championship too. So, John, do you want to make a start on the West Ham Man U game?
Yeah, so basically there was quite a lot that went on here. The main one being there's a couple of penalty decisions. So Ronaldo, obviously forefront of everything, went down the left-hand side, I think it was, and they looked like the first one. Both of them are quite similar in challenges. Just look like they catch Ronaldo late, and doesn't look really like they played the ball. VAR didn't get involved, so I just wanted to see. I personally think both of them are penalties.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's an argument for one where Ronaldo doesn't look like he's going to get the ball, but there's especially the second one. I don't think the players actually played the ball. He's only played Ronaldo, and I think it's a pen. So I don't know what you guys think. They're almost identical challenges, to be fair.
Well, let's go to the Man U fan, Ramon. Are you
Well,
agreeing with John on this side?
yeah, I do. I mean, we need to look at if there was contact or not. And with the first one was so far, there was definitely contact. Uh, Sometimes you say, is that enough contact or not? I just think this is a clear 100% penalty. I mean, there's contact. And the second one was Zuma. Yeah, the ball. I don't think Ronaldo will have been able to get the ball afterwards, but Zuma didn't even won the ball. He just went for the man. So I was very frustrated. To be honest, I was very, very frustrated because I just didn't understand why in both of the situations he didn't give a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read any news or seen any news about it. I've just listened to other ex-Man U players and who else comes on sports news saying that they didn't understand why there's no penalty, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't obviously affect the result because Man U ended up winning 2-1. There was a penalty late on that was given for a handball against Shaw, which was a pretty blatant penalty in my eyes. The arms were out of the body, outside that
Yeah.
silhouette, unnatural position. So that was a good decision.
But the interesting one there, Hassan, there's I don't know if you've seen it, but I know Rimon will. The Aaron Wan-Bissaka challenge,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
where the incident comes in. I think it's Souček gets the ball and Wan-Bissaka wipes him out, and Martin Atkinson gives a foul the other way.
Yeah.
And
He
I
gives an
personally,
offside, right?
everyone thinks it's an offside.
Okay.
I listened to Dermot Gallagher speak about it, and they said it was a foul on Wan-Bissaka first, apparently. But in my opinion, there's no foul there, and it's a penalty. So I don't understand why VAR didn't get involved there, because in my opinion, it's clear and obvious. It's an error, and it's a penalty. He's not played the ball. He's only ever played the man, and it's for me a penalty and a yellow card.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Roman the same as well, or No, because it's not again.
No,
You're not
no,
going to give
no,
them.
no. I have to be neutral. I would say maybe if I was sleeping at that moment. I don't know. Everything was down. To be, I don't know. I thought like the others. I thought that was offside. Because definitely no free kick to Van Bissaka. Definitely no free kick. And if there's no offside, no free kick, a penalty. Yeah, I agree. And with the Luke Shaw one, the same. Definitely penalty. Yeah.
So we only had one penalty in the game, so it sounds like from all of us, it sounds like there should have been four.
Yeah. What a game.
Yeah, crazy. Cool. Well, the one I watched a little bit more detailed was the Brighton-Leicester game. And there was three decisions from this game, right, that occurred and that we're going to talk about. So the first one was a penalty that was given by Stuart Atwell for a handball by Vestergaard, which looked clear to me that it was a handball. But then on watching the replay, it looks like potentially that Maupay has actually fouled Vestergaard in the process of, him handling the ball. So do you guys think this one should have been disallowed, the penalty?
Yes. I think if you're going on a handball, there's we speak about it, and the new law is if your hand is in an unnatural position, which it was, there's no reason for it to realistically be up there, especially if he's winning it with his head, and he's 6'6", anyway, he's pretty tall. But I think that Maupay has grabbed his other arm and pulled it like a bell ringer, and I think that's stopped Vestergaard winning it properly or haven't been a fair fight. Obviously, Maupay is 5'7" and Vestergaard is 6 foot, so it's one hell of a jump for Maupay. But I do think it's a foul in the build-up. So I think it should be a Leicester free kick rather than a Brighton pen.
Cool.
Yeah, I totally agree there. I mean, if you see the replay, Maupay have Vestergaard's arm and pulls him down. So I also didn't understand why they didn't look into it. I mean, there was a handball. So I agree with John there. I say free kick to Leicester, no pen.
Sure. No, brilliant. And then later on in the game, Leicester had the ball in the back of the net twice. And I've got to say, I think great officiating by the assistant here, because both of the goals were chalked off for offside, where the player both times was Harvey Barnes was impeding the line of sight of the goalkeeper when the shot was played. Did you think both were fair, or did you think for sure the first one you could see the goalkeeper claiming for the interference, but on the second one it didn't seem that like the goalkeeper did? So does the goalkeeper or a defender who's being blocked off, if they're on the goal line, need to actually appeal for it for you as the assistant referee to think, oh, okay, well, he was in an offside position, if the appeal's happening then he must have interfered? Or if he's in an offside position and you believe he could have interfered, even if there's no appeal, do you give the flag? So something to talk about there. But John, what did you think about the decisions as a whole, these offside decisions?
I think they're great. I think they're hard to spot, and I also think it makes it easier on the Premier League to give them, because obviously you're calmed up and you're like, Harvey Barnes is offside, I'm going to disallow the goal, so you can put the flag up, and there's instantly that communication between the referee and the assistant. So there's no real confusion straight away. You can tell the players we're checking if he was interfering or not. Whereas when we bring that to our games, Lino's going to put his flag up and I'm going to have to run over, and everyone's a bit like, what the hell's going on? So in terms of that, it looks great and everything. I think the first one is definite, and the second one I think is a little bit harder to give. But the only thing that sells it for me is Harvey Barnes tries to put his head on the ball, and that could obviously affect what Rob Sanchez was moving towards. So if that's the reason that they gave it, then I've got no issues with it.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's a bit tricky, right? Because you have to be very, very quick when you take these decisions, if there's also upside or not. And well, as you said, the goalkeeper's reaction, that definitely helps. So on the first one, yeah, definitely he was on offside there because Harvey Barnes was blocking his view. But the second one, because it was a goal, they had to look it through, right? And this is where VAR is a good thing here, because I don't think anyone saw it as an offside, probably. So VAR took the decision. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, what I mean is, I don't know if we should just be a goal because the referee didn't see it. There was no reaction from the players. It's only because the VAR saw it. I know.
No, the assistant referee gave both of them.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't look at the assistant referee, but I just saw that no reaction from the players, and I was thinking, okay. Well,
no, it's interesting, and I think John makes a good point around the communication, right? Because the assistant referee would have said, Harvey Barnes is offside, I can raise the flag here, and he would have got some feedback from the referee to say, yeah, I want the flag now, right? Whereas at our level, where we don't have communication kits, it's different. And I've actually had this twice in the last 2 games that I've been an assistant on, where there were goals scored where I believed a player was interfering with the goalkeeper's line of sight. But because there was no appeal, I decided not to put my flag up, because if there was no appeal from the players, why am I going to surprise anyone by putting my flag up to say the player's offside? Because unless the goalkeeper or the defender on the line, etc., is claiming that they've been interfered with, then I'm not going to go and surprise anyone. So that was my take on that day, and I'm pretty happy with how I dealt with those situations. I think it would have been a lot worse if I tried to put my flag up for offside and disallow the goal. But yeah, no, good ones in this example. John, do you want to talk through the Man City one?
So Southampton went on a quick break and played 1-2 around the Man City defence, and Adam Armstrong, I believe it was, went into the penalty box, and Kyle Walker's come in from behind and been sent off for, I'm assuming, a not genuine attempt to play the ball in the penalty area.
Mm-hmm.
And John Moss went over to the screen and overturned both the penalty and the red card. And I think it ended up giving a drop ball to Ederson.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it should have been a pen and a yellow.
So I thought it was a penalty as soon as I saw it. And actually I thought it was probably a red card, because I thought it was an upper body offence. But then as you watch the replay, you can see Kyle Walker's actually trying to win the ball, and therefore it should be a yellow. And I think that's why VAR has come across and said, actually, we think you should review it. Roman, what are your thoughts? Did you think it was a penalty, or because it's Man City?
Yeah, no. It's not Liverpool, right? No, I was just thinking when I saw the situation, I was thinking about the Liverpool game with the Elliot who a strike. I don't remember the name of the other player.
Yeah.
I was just thinking if he had broken a leg or something there, what will the situation be? Because I was thinking it was somehow the same force. We had it on the podcast last time. I also think somehow it was the same force. If we had to compare these two, one broke his leg, the other didn't. Maybe it wasn't 100% the same situation, but it looked like it. So if I had to look at the Liverpool game and compare it, I would say red card, yeah. But he didn't break a leg, Armstrong, so nothing there.
Fair
I don't
enough.
know if this is how we're gonna see it or not, but yeah, I'm just gonna compare these two situations, because in my opinion, I didn't think it was a red card.
I think the difference is that Harvey Elliott's tackle got sent off for serious foul play, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And this would have been, I'm assuming, a dog zone.
Yeah.
So that would be the only real difference, as he denied an obvious goal scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
Cool. So we think overall penalty was the right call, but actually it should have been a yellow because he's made a genuine attempt to play the ball.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Moving on to the Wolves game. Wolves played Brentford. Brentford are in a great form, having come up from the Championship. They were awarded a penalty in the first half, and actually Darren England's done really well to spot this, that it was a holding offence in the box from a corner, and 9 times out of 10, actually, these kind of get missed or kind of don't get acted upon. And he's seen the foul on, I think it was Ivan Toney who was fouled by one of the Wolves defenders, like basically just holding him and rugby tackling him to the ground. It was a great decision. And in the build up to the penalty being taken, the goalkeeper's actually standing on the penalty spot and scuffing up the penalty mark, right? So has this ever happened to you guys? And like, how do you deal with that? Like, do you try and get there before the goalkeeper can get there, or how do you make sure you're aware of those types of things? And has it ever happened? Go on, Raymond.
Well, no, it never happened. I mean, if it's a penalty, you will always be close to the penalty area, right? So it's a weird situation for me. I didn't see, I mean, there's camera everywhere, right? So I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, it never happened for me. But it's funny. It's funny it's happened in in real life. I don't know if it happened other games, but no, I can't relate to it.
And John, easy yellow card for the goalkeeper?
Yeah, it's in the laws of the game that you can't tamper with the lines or the pitch, and it's a form of cheating, isn't it? He's trying to displace the penalty mark so that Ivan Toney sends it into the stands rather than into the back of the net. I think it happened a couple of years ago. I don't know if anyone remembers in the Bundesliga where a player did it to a player, or the goalkeeper did it, like span around, and then the club on Twitter sent an invoice to the other club because obviously the groundsman's pretty hacked off. But I can't. It's one of those ones that's really difficult to spot on a park pitch. If you've got a very, say, contentious penalty decision, and you've got 9 or 10 players around you, then how is realistically the penalty spot the first thing you're looking for if the keeper's there digging it up? Probably not.
And you don't really expect it at our level. You don't really expect it in the Premier League, but it was spotted and it was a good yellow card. And now we get on to our final one of the week. It was probably actually, for me, the biggest talking point from the weekend. It came in the Championship between Luton and Swansea. And basically, just to describe, I can't remember who plays for who. Is it Swansea? Swansea won white that day, I think.
Yeah, is it Lansbury was playing in red or orange?
Okay, so we'll describe it as white and red because I can't remember which team was which. But basically, the white team, there was a foul or there was a free kick for the red team. And as the red player was going to take the free kick, the white player slightly toe poked the ball away. And it was exactly at the same time as the red player was attempting to kick the ball and kicked through with some quite considerable force onto the white player. And the white player is down on the floor, obviously hurt from that tackle. This was a unique one in my eyes. I don't think I've seen anything quite like this before. And the referee decided to give 2 yellows, one for the white player for delaying the restart of play, and one for the red player, obviously for some form of adopting aggressive attitude or something like that. But it definitely went around, and there's a lot of different opinions. And really the only opinion is there a red card for the kick? Is it violent? And it's really on a knife edge for me, but I'm keen to hear your guys' thoughts, and I'll explain mine afterwards. So, Raymond, this is a English Championship game. What are your thoughts?
Well, when I first saw it, when he kicked him, I thought, yeah, definitely red card. But again, I have to see it from the referee's point of view, and both of them were the white team was starting it by going over to the ball and delaying the start, and players get frustrated, right? And referees knows that. So he kicked him. Yeah, in my opinion, it's a red card. But when looking at the whole situation, I think the referee did a good thing by giving 2 yellows. I mean, we haven't seen many situations where they pushing each other because something happened. Yeah, I mean it's on the edge. I want to say red, but I still want to say it's okay. It's well handled by the referee. Give us move on. I haven't seen the rest of the game, so I can't say this. I mean, this is the fourth or fifth time something happened. So just by looking at the situation, the whole situation, I would say, yeah, well played, well refereed. So,
John, I feel like John's going to completely
Yeah.
flip.
We agreed a lot on this, but
Yeah, I think it's time we disagree.
Yeah.
I think it comes back to what Rimmer was saying. We spoke about last week, where a player should have got 2 yellow cards and only got 1. He ended up booking. Was it the Zaha? Was it Zaha game? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that situation, that's fair enough. I think this one is a yellow card to the Swansea player for kicking the ball away and delaying the restart. There's no reason for him to be there. The referee's probably said step away from the ball, and I think it's a red card for the Luton player because he's tried to kick him into space. And I think that's the way to deal with it. I think it's violent conduct. He's not even attempted. Like for example, that Luton player knows exactly what this white player is about to do. He knows he's about to kick it away, so there is no way on earth he can say I went to kick the ball, knowing as a footballer. I know that's a lot of assumptions, but his reaction and the way he kicked wasn't anywhere near where the ball was going, or anywhere near where the ball was. It was straight for that guy's ankles. And I think it's violent conduct, and I think it's a red card. And
but
I think
imagine
you still
there.
Yeah, it will suck to sell, and you're going to have a lot of unhappy human beings. But at the end of the day, I think if he goes around and goes, look, I'll book him for exactly being in the wrong, and his is only a yellow card for being in the wrong. Yours, however, is a red because you've booted him up in the air. And
I don't think so. Interesting, because I don't think you can 100% say that Henry Lansbury has gone to. It's so hard, like. Because you can kind of see that he's going to kick the ball, and so I think it's so tricky. I think you could sell both of these. I think my gut feel when I first saw it was red. That was a really zoomed in angle, and then when you look at wider and you look at the whole picture, you can say, okay, well, this is like literally split seconds. He literally touches the ball and then it's bang. So for me, I think you can say he's going to kick the ball. And therefore that gives me an element of doubt for it to be violent. Because this isn't serious foul play. The ball's out of play. There's a stoppage. So you've got to determine, is this violent conduct or not? And to me, there's enough doubt on the table to say, well, actually, he was trying to kick the ball, and this guy got in the way accident. It was such a split second. So that's my opinion. I think the yellow card was correct, even though
I think there's too much force for it to be like, oh, I was just kicking it up the thing. Like, he has leathered this thing. And when do you ever realistically, unless the ball is coming in and he's trying to hoof it out, like it's their free kick, the chances are they'll want to retain possession, Luton.
And so I've not seen Henry Lansbury's career, right? But I do know that when he's played Newcastle for Nottingham Forest in the past, he can be a bit of a hothead. So does that ever come in? Can that ever come into play when you're refereeing your history or your knowledge of the players? Or should you be trying to, like, for example, if that was Joey Barton, right?
Yeah.
You're probably thinking he's done that on purpose, but should that ever come into your mind, right? If the evidence isn't there to say, oh, I think he's done it on purpose or not, then you know what I mean? Should you ever take into account the player's history or their brand in that aspect? Is that something you do, John, or is it important?
No, I try and go into every game with a clean slate. I tell all the players, like, sometimes you get, oh, ref, you were rubbish last week. And I was like, well, that was last week. This is this week. We're a clean slate this week. You annoyed me last week. I annoyed you last week. We'll go for a clean slate. Everyone's got a fresh start. Because otherwise you're going in there going, I'm booking you, and I'm booking you. I might as well write your names down now. And then you already know that they're going to do the lit list thing and you're going to do them for it anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just unfair, really. So I try and clean slate it every time.
No, awesome. Well, that was it. I'm really keen to hear what everyone else thinks, if that was a red or a yellow in your eyes. I feel like a lot of people will go red for sure. Um, but yeah, I'm on the fence. So let us know. Let us know what card you're giving and how strong you feel about it. Is it a definite red? Is it maybe red? Is it a definite yellow? Let us know. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe. If you haven't already checked us out on YouTube, we've been doing Matchday vlogs. So definitely check those out. People are really enjoying them. I go through my observations. John watches his games back and talks you through decisions he's making. So they are a great watch, even if we do say ourselves. John and Ramon, thank you for your time, and we'll see you next week.